Once upon a time, in a cozy little village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there lived a curious boy named Tommy. Tommy was known far and wide for his insatiable love of stories. He would spend hours in the village library, immersed in books of all kinds. But there was one book he cherished above all others, the Enchanted Bedtime book. The Enchanted Bedtime book was a magical tome passed down through generations in Tommy's family. It was said to hold stories that came to life as you read them, and the characters inside would whisper secrets and adventures to the reader. However, there was a catch. The book could only be read at bedtime, under a canopy of twinkling stars. One warm summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Tommy's grandmother, Grandma Nellie, called him to her side. She held the Enchanted Bedtime book with a twinkle in her eye and said, "Tommy, it's time for you to learn the secrets of this special book." Tommy's eyes widened with excitement. He couldn't believe that the time had finally come. Grandma Nellie tucked him into his bed, which was piled high with soft blankets and fluffy pillows. She opened the book, and as she began to read, the pages glowed with a soft, inviting light. The story unfolded before Tommy's eyes, and he watched in wonder as a group of mischievous fairies danced across the pages, sprinkling stardust and giggling as they went. "Oh, how I wish I could join them," Tommy thought. And just like magic, his wish came true. With a flick of his grandmother's wrist, Tommy was transported into the story, shrinking down until he was no bigger than a fairy himself. He laughed and twirled with the fairy folk, their tiny wings sparkling in the moonlight. They led Tommy through an enchanted forest, where trees whispered secrets, and fireflies illuminated their path. He met talking animals, a wise old owl, and a playful squirrel. Each character had their own unique tale to share, and Tommy listened with rapt attention. As the night wore on, Tommy grew tired, and the fairies led him back to his grandmother's side. With a gentle kiss on his forehead, she whispered, "It's time to return, my dear." Tommy closed his eyes and was transported back to his own room, where the Enchanted Bedtime book lay beside him, now closed. He snuggled under his warm covers, filled with the joy of his adventure. The next morning, Tommy awoke to find a small, sparkling feather beside his pillow. It was a gift from the fairies, a reminder of the magical night he had experienced. From that day on, the Enchanted Bedtime book became Tommy's dearest friend, and he looked forward to bedtime with great anticipation. As Tommy grew older, he shared the magic of the book with his own children, and they, in turn, with their children. The book continued to bring wonder and enchantment to each generation of the family, keeping the spirit of bedtime stories alive. And so, in that cozy little village, the tradition of reading the Enchanted Bedtime book lived on, passing down the magic of stories from one bedtime to the next, reminding everyone that there was always a touch of enchantment in the world if you were willing to believe.